Hey YTPC, this is Dave coming to you from the paddock in Southern Maryland. You can just call me Mr. Cheerful. So yesterday, one of you guys, it might have been Piper Bob, made a comment on my, tobacco restrictions and what's coming at us and how we should get ready. And he said, hey, the UK is actually debating a permanent smoking ban. And I had read something about it months ago and just blew it off. I didn't even think about it. It's real. And so I want to take you through, that's why the screens are all lit up. I'm going to turn you around. We're going to go to the screen so I can show you the actual news stories. But there is a serious move afoot in the world governments to put a smoking date ban in place that says you can't buy any tobacco product of any kind if you were born on or after this certain date. And then we would create what they call the smokeless generation, and it would absolutely make it illegal with huge penalties, fines, and prison time if you violate these things. So I'm going to take you over to the screens in a minute. But guys, there's a generic way these things happen, and almost all major legislation that we've seen in the last decade, maybe that has spread, starts certain ways. The people who want to make changes like this, they start by issuing studies and surveys and then use those to create a test case in some country, in this case New Zealand, and then use that as the linchpin to start introducing such mirroring legislation, sometimes to the word, the same bill that got passed in New Zealand is now being debated in the UK and is started to leak into the US. So I just want to show you the facts of what is coming at us. And it does permanently, comprehensively ban all tobacco products. So that's why I'm call myself Mr. Cheerful in this one. Hey, I'm still smoking the Mark Maryland Meerschaum. I'm still smoking my Burley Morning pipe. Fabulous pipe, fabulous tobacco. Remains today one of my top 3 or 5 brand blends. Guys, this is why I love the screen setup as I have it. So I have two 34-inch screens, but I haven't divided up. So I have them divided so at any one time I can have 5 screens up. And that's what I've done here. And the first thing we're going to talk about is New Zealand in December of 2022 actually passed this as a national law, saying that anyone born after January 1st, 2009 would never be able to purchase tobacco items. And they have huge penalties for anybody that violates that policy. Essentially said that anybody 13 years old or younger in New Zealand will never be able to purchase any sort of tobacco. The second part is New Zealand's repeal of that law in November of 23. So it lasted about 11 months. But the thing I found interesting was why they repealed it. Let me see if I can bring that up for you. See if I can do this real time. See, the fine was up to $150,000. I guess that's 96,000 US, but 150,000 New Zealand for people who violated the law and sold to kids. But a new prime minister came in and said he defended the controversial move to repeal it, saying he disagreed with parts of the policy. But the real reason was the U-turn was to pay for tax cuts. So it had nothing to do with the legitimacy of the policy or the political debate on the policy. It was, we need the money. I thought that was kind of interesting. And then the UK does it. So this is a November 2023 article, so it's 4 months old now. But it basically says anybody under the age of 14 will never be able to buy tobacco. And it says that it's supported not only by the government, but by King Charles as well. I don't know the status of this legislation in the UK Parliament. I can't find any current information on it. But here we go. We move from New Zealand to the UK now. Moving backwards in time a little bit. Here comes the US, not to be outdone. So this is a February 2023 survey by the CDC here in the US that says the majority of adults support an all tobacco ban. So there's the study in the United States that I was telling you about. Here's the scariest one. This is from February 21st, 7 days ago. CNN published a U.S. Food and Drug Administration study or survey that says a quarter of smokers quit within 1 or 2 years of the menthol ban. Now, we've backed away from the menthol ban, but 7 days ago, here comes, a study a year ago, and now a survey saying that people actually found the ban to be effective and quit smoking. So guys, I just want to put this out there because I'm not too sure how many of you are even aware how serious this has become or how real this is a possibility that the sale of any tobacco products could eventually become illegal. Maybe only to a certain age group, but we will see. That's another step in the process, is to say, well, the ban is to sell any tobacco product to a person born after this date, and then move that date forward. I mean, it'd be very easy once the law is passed to then put amended legislation where it just amends that date. Okay, that's how income tax got introduced in the United States. We were only going to tax the people who made like $500,000 or more in 1913. And then all of a sudden, guess what? That income bracket dropped to now everybody is subject to the law anyway. Don't pick on the example too much, all right? I'm just showing you that once passed at a palatable level, it then gets amended to encompass a much broader impact. And I see this coming, guys. So we now see studies being done, surveys being done, a test case in New Zealand, UK picks it up, and now the US is starting to issue studies and surveys. So I think this is coming at us, guys. And I just throw it out there because, many of you, I'm in an income bracket, I can sell her like this in a year or two. Yeah, many of you aren't. Many of you are not in a position where over the next couple of months you could put a life seller in place. And so I just put this out there. I don't know of any pending legislation in the U.S. I don't even know if a law has been drafted or a bill has been drafted, but I do believe it's coming. Forewarned is forearmed. So just be aware. Stay aware of the situation, right? On your own, search for these kinds of news stories, smoking bans, permanent smoking bans. It's an easy search. And maybe stop spending money on non-cellared items and cellar deep, as we say. Those that have been smoking a while know what the 3 or 4 or 5 brands they're going to cellar deep on, right? Johnny Onions at 2 a.m. pipe on the patio knows what he's doing. SMR, Slow-Mo Randy has said, hey, I know where I'm going. I'm cellaring deep. And several others of you said, hey, I know what I'm doing, and I'm cellaring deep on these blends. So if you're a younger smoker, a newer smoker, and you don't know those blends, man, I would get on it and start figuring out what are some of your favorites and start putting some of your money towards cellaring if you can. It doesn't negate any of the debt conversation. Like, don't cellar if you got massive debt laying on you, right? But if you're in a position you can carve out some budget and start cellaring, I would get on it. Because once they announce this, it could be a year or two away. And that age could move up fairly quickly. Maybe you've got 5 years. Maybe we have 10 years. I don't know. I just wouldn't plan on that, right? We can hope we've got 10 years. We can hope this never comes to fruition. I wouldn't plan that way, though, right? Hope is not a plan. So hope for it not to come and plan for it to come, and you'll probably be in a much better position.
Hey guys, I forgot one thing. I just I want to throw on the very end here. The other thing that these legislative items and studies say that makes it seem even more real to me is, one, it's for your protection, and two, it protects our children. And those are the other two things when they do these kind of Western world wide legislation items. You can test how serious they are when they say those two items. It's for your protection and it saves our children. And both are present in these things.
That's it. That's the whole point of this video. I'm going to shut up and get this uploaded, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.